Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, wherever you are around the world, thank you for tuning in. It's round 2 of 12 in Zoom Racing League, and our championship has just gotten underway with the Mercedes team off to a hot start. We're here today at the United Arab Emirates at the world-famous Yas Marina circuit located in the heart of Abu Dhabi. It's a 3.2-mile circuit with 16 turns, 7 of which are to the left and 9 of which are to the right. Joining with me here in the booth today is the man, the myth, the legend, and your ZRL Season 5 Drivers Champion in Division 1, Hudson Poole. Hudson, what are your thoughts as we head into qualifying today?
I think this will definitely be one of the more exciting races as the layout has completely changed. 2 chicanes have been deleted and now they've kind of been made to hairpins, so there's more overtaking opportunities. So we'll be, seeing a lot more chances, and that of course makes for good entertainment.
Yeah, the AlphaTauri of Wyall is the first one to head out on the track at the moment. We'll follow on board with him. Wyall's came a long way. So he was a Division X driver last season. He's put in a lot of work this offseason, and he's been really fun to kind of watch develop. There's also been a lot of controversy between Wyall about his racecraft recently. I've talked to him a little bit on the side throughout the week, and I know that it's definitely something he's been working on and something that he's not necessarily been so proud of. But I love watching these guys improve as we go through the season and seeing the storylines develop. So we'll see what kind of time Wyall puts out right now. But a lot of these guys right now are just out putting in banker laps. We're 15 minutes left in the qualifying session. Only one qualifying today. I know that we have a couple full qualifying sessions and sprint qualifying coming up throughout the season. We're excited to get to those. But today at Abu Dhabi, we are just doing a singular 18-minute qualifying session, and these drivers are going to put in the best laps they can in this 18 minutes, and I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah, Wyall now in sector 3 of this lap, almost invalidating there, getting really close. Now he's upcoming to the penultimate corner. Now you can take it flat out. Last game you were not able to do that. Coming around the last corner, this can be a tricky one. Try not to lose the rear end on this last corner, and he sets a 24.4 on the medium tire.
Wow.
Something
I just realized he's on the medium tire.
Yeah.
And you know what? Actually, that is a really impressive time for the medium tire, if I'm thinking correctly. This early in the session, I think that our D3 pole might have been 24.3. So he's about, our D4 pole. So he would have been close to setting pole in Division 4 on the medium tire, which is very impressive.
Yeah. Really impressive. And Stelios Raypass and Wyall, only 9 thousandths of a second separate them, whilst Wyall is on the medium tire, so really impressive from him. But just to give you guys an update, It's Try and Combined YouTuber won't be making the race today. Kenny is taking the Mercedes spot, and Pitts Toast is taking the Ferrari spot. Lights has a 13-point lead already going into the second race of the season. He's won the sprint and the feature race. Colin Edwards slots in behind him in second place in the driver standings. Then Eruption rounds up the top 3 in the Ferrari. Mercedes leading the constructors by 22 points from Ferrari. Red Bull has dropped back far more than anyone would have expected, down in the 7th place. We'll expect to see a recovery from them.
Yeah, got driver standings pulled up at the moment, but also we just had Eruption cross the line. Eruption, one of our favorites for the weekend, comes across in P1 at the moment with his teammate not too far behind. Just 1/10 separates the 2 Ferrari drivers at the moment. Magnus and Cube and Eruption are definitely a powerhouse in Division 2. A team that a lot of people have marked as their target team. So I know especially the Red Bull guys, being the Red Bull team principal, we've kind of, wanted to mark up, keep our number one. Max and Cube taking the old Abu Dhabi line as he's on his in-lap into the pits. But yeah, these Ferrari guys, they've got a powerful 1-2 punch. Eruption last week probably didn't finish where he wanted to finish, but he's still got solid points, and these steady points that you get throughout the season really do add up. A lot of people forget. It's easy to forget that when you get frustrated with the result, but I think if I had to pick a favorite today, and I'm interested to see where your head's at on this, but if I had to pick a favorite today, my favorite would have to be Eruption going into it. His raw pace is always insane. If he could just get himself in a spot in qualifying where he doesn't have traffic in front of him and he can kind of run free, that would have to be, in my opinion, the number 1 person to win as we progress into the race.
Yeah, Eruption is never a doubt to win the race. He's extremely consistent, has the the pace to definitely compete in D1. It's just times don't work out for him. But yeah, we could see a lot of winners here. Ducky Falcons we had a practice race for ZRL not too long ago. He had some decent pace there. Technic Speedy.
He did, yeah.
We could see some pace from him, but I wouldn't count the Aston Martins out. I think Wild Fury, he can show his pace sometimes.
And let's not forget Garrett Elder, Williams driver, just set a provisional pole. And Garrett, you know, he's on a Williams, which is supposed to be our worst team on the grid. Garrett going pole right now is pretty shocking. I don't know if that time will stand, but the fact that he's up there, that's, you know, even if people are still putting in laps, I would imagine that time stays top 10. That would have put him on pole in Division 3 for sure. 23.3 is not a bad time at all. He's got two tenths on Eruption at the moment.
Yeah, not at all. Garrett Elder, a man that is the unexpected, especially last season of how well Williams did. Yeah, he's kind of random. Sometimes he'll have extremely good pace, and sometimes not so much. But
yep.
Who
Kenny LaFleur is
do
about
you
to
think
cross
will
the
get pole
line.
today?
Eruption's going to get pole, but Kenny LaFleur reserving, going to come across the line. Oh, his time's invalid. That's not good. So the reserve driver not able to put in a lap at the moment. He'll have to come back out on a new set of tires. Lights, our Division 2 Drivers Champion at the moment. He's going to come around to the final corner. Let's see what kind of time he can put up on the board. And he runs a soft tire. He puts it in P6. And Lights, it's a solid. Like I said, a lot of these first laps, I think it's just about getting a time on the board. And it may be a little bit more conservative, but it's something. So, sorry,
Yeah,
make sure we don't have any technical difficulties. I think we're all good. If there's any technical difficulties, let us know in the chat. If you guys see anything that looks out of place or out of order, so we can get that taken care of for you guys.
As we see our top 10, so of course Garrett Elder has a pretty decent gap between him and Eruption, and then right behind the teammate of Eruption, Max and Q, Wild Fury in 4th, Ethan 5th. Do you think this will be like a train race, or do you think there'll be a lot of separation between the drivers?
You know, we were talking about this in the Red Bull garage, and I don't want to leak too much information, but I'm not sure so much. I'm not sure so much that being in the train is an advantage here. I've seen, you know, down the 2 straightaways. Obviously, it's definitely nice to have that down the 2 straightaways, but through Sector 3, it's so tight and so slow of a sector that I'm not sure you're gaining any time by being in a train. It's almost optimal to not be in the train, but I don't know. You're really gonna have to do the math as a driver, as the engineers, and figure out, is my driver losing lap time in the train, or do we need to maybe pit and get them out of the train, or, you know, maybe try to push to get to the front of the train and get the pace moving. But I know I just engineered Division 3, and we were a little frustrated by the pace at the front of the train. Felt like we kind of were trapped and nothing we could do about it until pit window opened up, and at that time it just felt like, hey, let's pit as early as we can just to get out of the train. And I don't know, it's really kind of setup dependent too. This isn't one of those tracks like, let's say, Monza or Belgium, where it feels like you have to stay on the train to survive. I wouldn't say that. It's somewhere in the middle where it's 50-50.
Yeah, for sure. I think we'll see a lot of interesting strategies, as some people might even try the 2-stop. Saw quite a few people, not quite a few, but a couple of people start on the soft tire compound in D3. Some it worked out for them, some not so much, but
yeah,
anything is possible here in Abu Dhabi.
I guess the founder of that philosophy, sorry, stumbled over words over here, but the founder of that philosophy that we saw do it in practice earlier this week, we saw Joel Garon give that a test, and it actually worked out pretty decent in the Zero community event we held. I think there's potential for it. I don't think it's optimal, especially if you get like a safety car. Maybe it could definitely work in your favor, but you know, Simon tried it in Division 3. Simon Colston tried it in Division 3, and it worked okay. But we'll never know what would happen if he went with the 1-stop. The soft tires definitely have some pace. For how long, can't really say, but the 2 Red Bulls are about to come across and put some times up on the board. These will be their second hot laps. They'll have one more after this, but Dougie Falcons comes across, and he put himself in P3 for the moment. Behind him, we're going to have Ethan Patel come across. He's going to put himself P5. Both of them putting in solid times. 23.6 from Ethan with a 23.6 as well from Dougie Falcons. Just a couple hundredths away from each other. Ethan actually tying Magnuson Cube. That's interesting. Got an AlphaTauri in Sector 3 right now. That's just Alex Duarte. He's going to be coming into the pits. He's down on his time at the moment. We have... Is that a Ferrari? No, it's an Alfa Romeo. Behind him, is that Victor Diaz? Nope, that's probably Buzzgod out there. Appears that Buzzgod is on a hot lap. He's got his hot lap mode engaged as he comes around the final corner. Buzzgod currently in 10th place, going to come across the line and jump himself up to P7 with a Mercedes right behind him. And that is, let's see, is that Lights? So Lights just put in a time, wasn't able to improve. And we've got Eruption coming into the pits to box. Wild Fury is going to come across the line. He's not going to improve on his time. And the Alpine's coming into the pits as well. And then behind that, we've got Victor Diaz coming into the pits. Let's see, we got Ferrari out. And this is Magnuson Cube. Looks like he's just starting a lap. So we'll stay on board with Magnuson to see if he can improve his time. Maybe jump Dougie Falcons. If he improves at all, he will definitely hold the spot over Ethan Patel, as they have the exact same times at the moment. Also, real quick,
also interesting to see.
Yeah, go ahead.
Garrett Elder went for another lap and he cannot improve. So maybe that was one and done deal lap and he can't improve.
He did put in a cracker of a lap to start off
yeah,
with. So
that's true.
It's crazy that he did that with so much time left in the session. But nevertheless, he did get the time in there. Magnuson Cube, as he went through Sector 1, I believe he was up on his time. We'll check his time as he finishes Sector 2 at the end of this straightaway. Yeah, so Magnuson is up on his time. He's just got a purple sector through Sector 2, which means it's 2 long straightaways with a chicane. When I see people setting purples from Sector 2, it tells me he might be running a low downforce setup. And those can be really good for race pace. And even if he doesn't improve his time right here, if he is running a low downforce setup, we can keep an eye on Magnuson to potentially put in some really good race pace and a good finishing position. Comes across the line, currently P5. Is he able to improve his time? He does. He jumps his teammate. He jumps Dougie Falcons. He improves by a 10th. Sets up a 23.463. We got a McLaren. Is this Sid Satgar? Sid doesn't have a time up yet. So we have Sid, Barney Goatmere, and Colin Edwards, who don't have times in yet. Colin Edwards and Sid obviously need to put in time. Barney is serving a qualifying ban. So I don't think we'll see any times from him today. Colin Edwards is still in the pits as well. No cars out on track. Well, a couple cars out on track. Let's see. We got Alex Duarte. Is he putting in a lap? No, he looks like he invalidated his lap.
Lights goes P2. Was he already P2?
Yeah, we may have missed that one. Yeah, Lights comes across in P2. We've got a Mercedes out on track right now. Yeah, that is Lights, sorry. And then we've got Kenny LaFleur on an out lap. Is Eruption out on a lap right now? Am I seeing that right? No, it's Magnuson Cube come back out of the pit. So we don't have any drivers out on laps at the moment. Unless it's, none at the moment. 3 minutes left in the session. Some of these guys, I mean, if you're looking at it, I think Magnuson Cube, that might be all we see of him. There's 3 minutes left in the session right now. They'd have to park. Every car on the track right now would have to park and get out almost immediately to even have a chance. Magnuson Cube might cut it close. He might be able to get one. The Mercedes behind him.
Low fuel mode too.
What's that? Yeah, low fuel mode, yeah. Mercedes behind him, Kenny LaFleur,
he's really
in trouble.
close to being in a lap.
I don't think Kenny LaFleur is getting a lap in. And the Alfa Romeo of Victor Diaz is not going to get a lap in. The AlphaTauri Alex Duarte is not going to get a lap in. And Eric McNerney and the McLaren is not going to get one either. These guys have messed up their qualification timings, and that's it for them. So, you hate to see it, but that's some fundamental Formula One right there that these guys got to, take back to the shop, get it figured out for next week. And that sucks, but hopefully for their sake there's not too many drivers jumping them in the standings or in the qualifying order.
So if we want to go on a lap with someone right now, Kenny LaFleur, down in P17 in the Mercedes spot, he is on a lap. We would expect some decent times from someone in the Mercedes spot. He is a reserve for Mercedes today. But we can see some decent times from him.
See,
possibly.
this is interesting because I told you he wouldn't have time for another lap, and he really didn't have the battery for it. But if you look, he's on 3-lap old softs. This is not optimal for Kenny. He's in P17, and he's already on old softs. These softs don't last much longer than 5 or 6 laps, and he's on lap 3 right now. I don't even think
on my screen he has 0 lap old tires.
Okay, so maybe we're seeing a visual bug. Okay. Well, we'll stay on board with him as he is currently on a hot lap. Looks like he's got a little bit of traffic. Does this Alpine let him by?
Well, maybe doing a little dirty air.
Oh, yeah.
A moment there.
I don't know. It hasn't looked that clean from Kenny. I would imagine he's not going to improve much if at all. Comes across the line. Oh, he is going to improve, so he's going to jump up to 11. Not so bad. That's salvaged.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got Magnuson Cube is pretty much
Eruption's on a lap.
done. Eruption is on a lap. We'll stay on board with Eruption.
Haas coming across the line. Oh no, he's just starting his up.
So this is both of our estimations on who we're thinking is going to be on pole. We'll see. He's about to come through the second DRS zone, and we're going to see what his time is through Sector 2. If he's up or if he's down on his time, he needs about 2 tenths. And he's up 4 tenths, Eruption is right now. He's got a whole Sector 3 where there's a lot of time to find as well. So Eruption looking like he is going to be on provisional pole. If he can keep this lap together, he comes around the final couple corners, Sector 3, where the tires really need to grip up. They struggle to not overheat. You got to keep it together. The throttle be so gentle. The brakes keep him from locking up. Second to last corner, he's going to be flat out. It actually gives a little bit of a confidence lift. He's going to come around the final corner now. Eases into the throttle, keeps it in 4th gear, but he spins!
No.
He spins, so Eruption is not going to make it onto pole, even though he had the time. The time was there. We got 2 Red Bulls coming around the corner.
Going to cross the line. Going into the last corner.
Oh yeah, sorry, Ethan Patel does not approve.
He could take pole away, and he does! He gets a 23-2, pimping the Williams of Garrett Elder off pole. Garrett is on a lap right now, and he's only 300ths more on his time. So he is down on his time at the moment, but if he can nail this Sector 3, he could take away that pole from Dougie.
So we've got a couple drivers getting ready to cross the line. YL in P11 currently. He jumps up to P5. Great job from YL. Wild Fury crosses the line. We got Mateo who just crossed the line. Wasn't able to improve by too much. A Mercedes just crossed the line. Who was that? That's oh wow, we got a bunch of drivers crossing the line. Everyone's deciding to cross at the same time, so keep an eye on the timing board. Impossible for us to keep up with all of that's going on. Garrett Elder crossed the line, was not able to improve from his banker lap. And I think that's all checkered flags. That's everyone we got. They all decided to cross at the exact same time, Hudson. I don't think we could have kept up that even if we were as quick as possible. That was machine gun. Rapid finish. So all the drivers have crossed. And this is going to be your starting lineup. Lights was able to put it on pole. We somehow missed that, actually. Lights was able to sneak the pole off Dougie Falcons. Yeah. So, getting ready to head to the grid. Hudson, who is your favorite to win the race?
Dougie Falcons. I think, a little biased because of Red Bull, of course, but I think he could. I think he has a pace. It'll be interesting to see what all these drivers start on for tires.
What's the optimal strat? What do you think the optimal strat is?
I don't know. I'm not saying.
You know what? We'll give it a second. We'll think about it. We're gonna head to break, and we'll be right back for the start of your race. We'll see you guys shortly. All right, guys, so welcome back. We are underway. Remember, there is no formation lap today, so we are going to be heading straight into the action here at Abu Dhabi. Obviously, we don't expect any weather, but we have lights on pole with Dougie Falcons in P2. Garrett Elder, not able to improve on his time, is starting P3 on the grid. These drivers are now preparing and locking in their final setups, any setup changes that they are able to make within Parc Fermé regulations. It's a tough strategy call, but you're expecting the hard tires for a lot of these drivers?
Yeah, I would imagine. It's an alternate strat so you can get the better tires towards the end of the race, but you never know. There could be a safety car, or maybe some people are trying to take the gamble for that so they can start on mediums. Safety car comes out, they go on hards for the rest of the race.
Yep, and
sometimes it's not all about pace. It could be about strategy.
So the drivers, the 5 lights. Says waiting for players. I think we've got a little bit of a glitch. Okay, and it's lights out and away we go. See if we can get the... Okay, so it looks like Dougie is able to get past lights. Dougie's known for his quick starts. He's able to get past lights, going to turn. We have a Ferrari in the back. That is Eruption. Broken wing on his hood. I saw him doing flips in the background. I don't know if anyone else saw that, but we are off to a crazy start already. A lot of the drivers have fallen into line, but seeing Eruption fall to P20 off the rip is not something you want to see for Team Ferrari. We've got some action happening in the middle. Ethan Patel appears to have gotten past BuzzGod. Eric McNerney's fallen down the order. It looks like he may have got a bad exit out of the hairpin. Anand Trivedi is able to pass his teammate. Maybe a little bit of Haas team orders as we head down to the chicane. And Eruption, as obviously Eruption has fallen out of it, but Lights on the tail of Dougie Falcons. How long will Lights be able to hold on to Dougie Falcons will probably be the tail of this race. Sector 3 coming up. And so far, we're up to a pretty clean start as Ryan Newton is able to get past Fitz Dickwell. Victor Diaz loses position to Eric McNerney, who's getting his elbows out. Sid Satgare able to pass Colin Edwards as they head into the hairpin in Sector 3. A lot of positions swapping around. A little bit of battle going back here, side by side with Anand Trivedi and Victor Diaz. Ryan Newton involved in the mix as well. Kind of a little three-car battle as they do eventually fall into line. Already a little bit of a gap. Those cars have started to get their elbows out a little bit too much. And sorry, Hudson, I know I was on deafen there for a moment. I think that's corrected now at the moment. Yeah, Anand Trivedi has already lost the DRS gap to Eric McNerney, so that's something he might have to burn a little bit of battery to get back in the train if he wants to get pulled. Not looking good for the Haas early.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. But Dougie making the jump on Lights. Interesting things from Garrett starting on the mediums along with Sid. Maybe they're helping for a safety car.
BuzzGod goes around. BuzzGod gets passed by everyone. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
No worries. Kenny LaFleur getting the overtake done on Matteo, it looks like. But Kenny LaFleur is on the medium, so he'll have the disadvantage towards the end of this race. And the Alpine, getting squirrely there behind Matteo, possibly going for an overtake. Is he going to try to go down the inside? No, he's not.
So he's going to stay patient for the moment. We got a healthy mix of tire shred. Oh, as Matteo goes around right in front of Stelios. We have ghosting on in this league, and I'm sure at the moment he is glad that he does. Stelios does lose a little bit of time, though. Weil takes advantage of it and says, hey, Stelios, I'm going to take off in front of you for the moment. But a lot of these guys are starting on medium tires. It's a pretty healthy mix between the two. Sid's taking advantage of him as he's able to just get past Magnuson Cube, who's got that race pace we were talking about. Garrett Elder's starting on the medium tires in P3. He's not really doing anything. Yeah, he may have set the fastest lap, but he's not really done anything track position-wise to take advantage of him. You and I both know that if you're going to start on this medium tire, you really have to do something with it. Because those guys on those hard tires, they're going to be on the mediums at the end when you're sitting on an old set of hards. And it's not fun. It never works out how you want it to.
Yeah. Of course, being on the hards, you're gonna have a better end to this race. But as we see, Lights getting kind of close at Dougie Falcons, only 4/10 away. DRS is now activated this lap. Getting a little squirrely out of the exit there, but he's going to use that ERS and have the DRS.
Beamer sends it down the inside of Eric McNerney at the chicane. Kind of loses on X a little bit, but Eric McNerney's going to battle back. He's going to burn his battery. He's down to 10% already on lap 3. We've known Eric McNerney to be a little bit aggressive with his battery in these races. But yeah, Beamer's still got DRS, and he's able to hold on to the position, even though Eric has the medium tires. Victor Diaz looking to get in on the action as well, right behind Eric. Only 2/10 behind. Not even. Eric's battery is obviously gone. Victor's on the mediums as well, and needs to make the moves happen. Biggest story so far, though, just BuzzGod and Eruption. All the way down and 28 seconds behind. Race essentially over unless they get a safety car. That does drastic changes to the championship. And these guys up the front, Dougie and Lights, they just need to take advantage of the situation. And for the long run, they really need to just keep it clean.
Yeah. But now, as we see Stelios Raypass right behind Weil and AlphaTauri, there is a gap in the train. So,
yep.
That is unfortunate for everyone behind Weil because now they'll be separated, and maybe the undercut will be an option to see from them, and overcuts and undercuts.
And this really has this gap is kind of created from when Mateo spun. Mateo was in the train.
Oh, Sid.
So Sid is going to look to make a move. He's going to look for the switchback on Wild Fury. Will he get it done? He's got the medium tires. He struggles a little bit on traction right there. Him and Wild Fury are going to go side by side for the moment. I think that he's going to get by. Yeah, he's got the DRS. His battery is gone, but Wild Fury has to get the position of Sid. And you know what? If I'm Wild Fury, I'm okay with that because I've still got 60% battery. I'm on the hard tires. At the moment, I'm not battling Sid, but if you could hang on to his DRS, it still would be beneficial as we move on the race.
Oh, Ethan Patel side by side with Kenny LaFleur going to the third sector, still side by side. Oh, and Ethan gets touched and he spins.
Light contact, yeah, light contact for Ethan between him and Kenny. Ethan needs to get the car turned around and get going again quickly. I'm not sure if he has any wing damage. He did touch the wall lightly, so we'll see if he can get the car corrected and try to keep the race going. He's not in as bad of a situation as Buzz got an eruption, who are way behind the field, unless he has to come to the pits right here. It appears he does not. So he's still in the race. Weil and Stelios actually come to the pits. Makes me think that they maybe had damage. Was Ethan battling with an Alpine that had damage? Are they going to switch his wing right now? I'm not sure what's going on. So Stelios comes in, doesn't get a wing change.
Oh, Ethan spins again off the curb.
Yeah,
and he probably got wing damage from that.
That's not what you like to see, but he'll be in the same picture as the guys behind, and he'll be looking to see if we can get a safety car to save his race. Eric McNerney did get by Beamer. Beamer sends it hot into the corner. Does make some contact.
Oh!
Beamer goes almost around. Was able to save it, but Victor Diaz is going to take advantage, and because of that contact, Eric McNerney is going to lose out on a spot to Victor Diaz with Ryan Newton right in the background as well. And these three drivers on mediums they got their elbows out for sure.
Yeah, Ryan Newton having a huge battery advantage over the two drivers that are in front of him, which is Eric McNerney and Victor Diaz. Then there's a pretty big gap from Victor Diaz to Kenny LaFleur. But all the drivers in front of Ryan currently are in the medium compound, so you'd expect them to have greater pace right now. But Eric McNerney just getting really close to the back of that Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, he's kind of just hanging out. Ryan's just kind of hanging out, like you're saying. At what point do you think that these hard tires kind of overlap the medium and they start to gain the advantage?
Imagine around lap 8, lap 9.
As Beamer goes around in turn 1, by the way. Beamer did go around in turn 1. Oh, looks like we have Alex Duarte off as well in sector 1 at the exit of turn 2 or 3. That's a tough corner where you really got to have the bravery to hold the throttle down. Yeah, it's a tough corner.
Real quick, this is probably the closest Lights has gone to Dougie Falcons off this second DRS zone on this track. Will not be able to make the move, but he is getting closer and closer, and he does have the battery advantage on Dougie Falcons currently, so maybe we'll start to see an undercut attempt from one of them, because as we know, the undercut can be pretty effective here. And yeah, there's a lot of close battling in the midfield, like 7th and 6th, 5th.
Yeah,
it's a very interesting race so far.
Magnus and Cube currently being held up by Wild Fury, who has lost out on DRS at the moment to Sid Satgar, who's on the medium tires. He really needs to get a move on because for the Ferrari team, you know, he is kind of the man right now. Eruption's sitting down in P19. Nothing he can really do about it either. He's got to get a move on to save the team's constructors points this week. And, you know, Dougie Falcons is in the same boat at the moment. Ethan Patel down in P16. Looks like he's on the struggle bus as well. So Dougie's really got to hold on to P1. It's going to be interesting when Lights decides that it's time to make a move, and I think it'll happen here in the next coming laps because, like you said, that DRS advantage is definitely in Lights' favor. And Garrett Elder is right behind, well, within a second behind him as well. Going to be applying pressure with those medium tires.
So Eric McNerney down in P10, right behind Victor Diaz, possibly, or he's using his ERS, the DRS, to make a move. Oh, real quick, Magnussen Cube sends it on the Aston Martin. Tries for the switchback. Will he get on Wild Fury? A lot of fun battles happening here.
Yep, Magnussen's going to try to get by. Like I said, he can't sit behind Wild Fury for too long because Wild Fury did lose that gap. He needs to get on with it. If he thinks he has pace to stay with Sid, and that tire overlap is going to come sooner or later. He needs to get on with it, and that's a good move. It's exactly what he needs to do.
Yeah. Eric McNerney does see back the position of Victor Diaz. He had it for a little bit. He lost it. Not 100% sure what happened there.
Barney's still on the tail of them too, so got a little battle between the medium runners here in the midfield. Barney kind of just waiting for his moment, it appears like. Or Ryan Newton, I apologize. Formerly known as Barney.
Yeah. So Dougie is kind of having a comfortable lead from Lights. Lights still has a DRS, but with the 6/10 lead, 7/10 lead, you don't really have to worry about any overtakes happening down a DRS straight. Wild Fury though is 4/10 behind Magnussen, and Magnussen does not have the DRS, and he has 67%. We do see him use the DRS. Wild Fury has the DRS on, but he stopped with the DRS, so maybe waiting for another moment to overtake him here, possibly in this next straight.
Yeah, you think he's going to try it? I wasn't sure if he would try it or not. If he burned any battery right there, he definitely could have made this stick. He's got a good chance to do a switchback right here. Doesn't. Yeah, he probably went a little too deep into that corner to make the switchback happen, but he's going to be sitting in line for the moment. Victor Diaz looks like he's side by side right now with Eric McNerney. They're going to head down into the hairpin, and Ryan Newton's right there, ready to see if anyone slips up. Oh, yeah, they're side by side through the exit of the hairpin. And they're going to stay side by side as we head up into Sector 3. Who's going to be the latest of the late breakers at this moment? And it looks like Victor Diaz is going to try to hang in there. They're still close, and contact is made. Victor Diaz gets a little bit loose. I don't know if it was enough to put him in the wall. I don't think he made wall contact, but Ryan Newton made some contact with him, and you know, he just fell out of DRS because of that. Definitely something that I think we'll probably see in the stewards meeting.
Yeah, quite a few touches here and there. Dougie almost losing the DRS to Lights. Wild Fury and Klinsman did have some battling going on earlier in the lap when all that was happening.
Oh, Colin Edwards got by Wild Fury. Okay.
I'm sorry, yes.
That's interesting because those two are good friends off track. So I know that those two are probably, there's a little bit of some side competition going on between those two, I'm sure. Colin Edwards, yeah, he doesn't look like he's willing to be patient here. He says, Magnussen Cube, it's time for you to get out of the way, and we need to be on towards Sid, who is 2 seconds now clear of these guys. But Magnussen's going to get a nice little switchback chance. He doesn't really have battery to make it happen, but he does have the DRS. Is Colin going to fight it or not? Doesn't appear he is, so these guys are just going to keep switching positions.
Yep, that's kind of what we like to see with this new model of the cars and this new game. Of course, a lot of battling happening with the dirty air and all different. Of course, Lights really close to the back of Dougie here. I wonder if Dougie possibly had a moment. Dougie could try to make a move here on him soon. Or sorry, Lights.
Lights could try to make a move. They did break the gap to Garrett, which is important. I think that medium tire advantage is starting to finally go away. Car around in Sector 3. Is that a McLaren? That is a McLaren of Eric McNerney. It's going to be a wing on track. I don't know if we'll get a safety car for that. We have two cars spawned at the same time. Typically that does warrant a safety car. But looks like Eric probably didn't have damage as he stays out, so we're going to keep it green for the moment. Lights is 6/10 behind. Dougie Falcons, are we getting close to making the move? Doesn't look like he has any intent of doing it this early. Especially now that Garrett has fallen off, there's a little bit of freedom behind him where he doesn't have the pressure, having to worry about getting overtaken. He can really kind of just sit here and recharge his battery if he's got the ability to.
Yep. Colin Edwards has a battery advantage and a DRS advantage here on Magnussen Cube after overtaking, as you said, his bud, Wild Fury. Using the ERS and the DRS, going into this hairpin, braking on the 50-meter board, and he gets the job done. Good job from Colin Edwards. Now he has Sid right in front of him, 2.5 seconds, or 2.9 seconds ahead, but Sid is on the medium, so you'd expect Colin Edwards to have a grip advantage around now, so we would expect the gap to lessen.
Field has really spread out. This maybe goes to show you that the DRS trains are not a big factor here, kind of like we talked about. There's the two DRS straightaways, but this Sector 3 is so brutal. And even the first couple corners that are flat, for some tire conditions. They can make a big difference in the time as well.
Yes.
So, trying to see if we got anyone close on track. Buzzgod has caught up to Wiles. I know this is a battle for P16, but he has caught up to Wiles, so we'll keep an eye on that. He's still got to see what happens when they get to the DRS zone. Weil has caught up to Ethan Patel as well, who may be nursing damage. I'm not sure if Ethan is battling damage. He's still got a lot of battery, so I think maybe he's just trying to keep it moving out on track at the moment.
We have some information. When Stelios repass had to go in for his wing change, they did not. The pit crew did not actually change his wing, so he had to go in twice. It's very unfortunate. Ooh, Wild Fury and Kevin Magnuson. Or Magnuson Cube. Overtake has happened.
So now we got the two friends, Colin and Wild Fury. And Colin almost has the 1 second gap now. He's going to have to find it through through Sector 3 here and then Sector 1 in the next lap. So he can try to break the gap to his friend. These two were teammates last season at Mercedes in Division 3. Obviously, they get along really well. So I love seeing these battles on track between these two.
Of course. This is more of a fun track to see battling on, because a lot of twists and turns, but then a lot of straights as well.
It's proven to be, honestly. I know a lot of people were kind of controversial over the change of the track, saying it might be better for racing or might be worse for racing. You have one opinion or the other, and as people do with many things. But yeah, I mean, I think for this race at least, I can't say it's going to be the same for Division 1 tomorrow, but at the moment in this race, I'm enjoying the kind of battles this is bringing out. It's really spreading out the field into kind of little clusters that allow people to, get the DRS advantage on the car in front of them rather than just every car has DRS. These little clusters have made for some pretty good battling.
Yep. So still a four-way fight here from Klinsman, Wild Fury, Madison Cube, and Kenny LaFleur. Now, there is a different entire compound, as Kenny LaFleur at the bottom of this fight for P6 is on the mediums. So when do you think we'll start seeing the medium runners starting to pit?
I'm a little shocked that they haven't came in yet, because I think that the pit window opens up around like lap 17 for the hards. I haven't done any medium testing, but for the mediums, you'd have to imagine it any lap now. It's about time.
If we want to go on Colin or Garrett Elder, he does not pit.
Yeah, Garrett's gonna stay out.
Sid pits.
Yeah, so Sid's gonna be the first to pit. He's gonna actually have that undercut on Garrett. These two are gonna be battling each other. I can't really say where they're gonna. No. Does he speed?
No. Kenny LaFleur attempted to go into the pits and
backed out of it last second.
I think he just missed his braking point. So he had to cross. I don't know if he'll get a penalty for actually crossing. I don't know.
Victor Diaz speeds into the pit lane. Yeah. Not what you want to do. No. Either Patel gets a 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings. A couple drivers picking up 3-second time penalties as well. We got an Alfa Romeo around in the back. Buzzgod's slow start to this season is getting worse. Unfortunate for our former Division 3 champion a couple seasons back. But I'm sure, give it some time, Buzzgod will be back eventually.
Never count Buzzgod out. He always can get the pace. He's gone up a division, correct? He was D3 last season?
No, he was D2 last season, but the season before that he was D3, and he pretty much took over. Last season I believe he got 3rd place or 2nd place in the driver's standings of D2, and now he's off to a slow start this season. So, but yeah, like you said, can never count him out. This is a tough couple races to start the season. We still got 10 rounds to go after this. We're 2 rounds in, and then I'm sure that we'll see Buzzgod back in competition for him.
Garrett Elder, will he pit? He does pit. Garrett Elder pit. So now we're seeing mostly these medium runners come into the pits. Kenny LaFleur.
And this is a direct reaction to Sid Satgar, by the way. So Sid's out on those mediums. Garrett has to come in for the mediums because he was on old hards or old mediums at that point. Wait, hold on. Did Sid start? Sid's doing a 2-stop.
Start on the medium.
Okay. Sid has to be doing a 2-stop.
Don't know if he meant to do that.
So he should really undercut Garrett then, because Garrett was on older mediums, and he needs this undercut to work as well. They're going to be close on pit exit. It looks like Sid's going to have the advantage. Yep, and he's going to get by. Garrett comes out on the old hards, but he sees Sid right now on the on the mediums, and he's probably thinking, what the heck was Sid doing? So, but Sid's got something else in mind. As long as Garrett can hold on to that DRS, though, I don't know if Sid's going to get too much of an advantage out of this.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that was not on purpose to go back on the mediums, because around now you see the mediums go to the hards, but you never know. Maybe he's trying to get a really good run here, and then maybe a safety car or something. But yeah. We have Garrett Elder in P9. He's on the new hards now, so everyone in front of him except for Sid has yet to pit. So if he can get a good undercut here.
Oh, we have Dougie Falcons. Oh no, okay, yeah, Dougie's coming in. Yep. So Dougie's coming in really early. Wow. So he's coming in lap 14, which is a little bit early for the hard window. Actually, it's really early, but if I had to guess, Dougie's doing this preventatively because he doesn't want to get undercut by Lights. So he's like, if I come in now, I can make sure that Lights doesn't get past me. So we're gonna stay on board with Dougie, see if he comes out in traffic. This traffic will be pretty key to his race moving forward.
Oh my God!
Oh, he hits the wall, didn't he?
He didn't hit the wall.
Just had a moment.
Yeah, that's. Oh.
He's gonna come out side by side with Mateo, and Mateo's gonna fall in line with him actually. So Dougie is clear. He's got wide open air. I guess he didn't hit the wall, but did definitely lose some time. I'm expecting Lights to come into the pits this time around, and as a direct reaction, he can't stay out for too much longer, or the undercut's just going to be so huge, unless he wants it that way. But
Madison Q, attempting a move on Wild Fury here, using his ERS and DRS. Sorry to cut you off there. Side by side into the hairpin. Still side by side. And Wild Fury sees a position to Magson.
All right, Ryan Newton still out on the old hards. And honestly, he's having a good steady race. I think when he hops on these mediums, he's been really patient, and he hasn't made any crazy moves. He is obviously going to be seen in the steward's room for that touch on Victor Diaz that we saw. But other than that, he's doing pretty good at the moment. But Dougie Falcons is coming up. He's 1.9 seconds behind Ryan Newton, and when he catches up to him, he's going to have to make quick work. He does not want to get stuck behind him, especially in Sector 3 on the next lap. That would be very tragic to Dougie's race. Lights actually decides to stay out, by the way. So Lights going for another lap. I don't know if that's going to pay off or not. Max and Cube comes into the pits. He's going to be out on pit exit. See if he can come out in clean air. There's going to be two Hasses in the vicinity, or Hass and a Mercedes. Will he come out in front of Anand Trivedi? He will come out, so he's clean for the moment. Fitz Dickwell is also in the pits. Ethan Patel coming up on Victor Diaz, who's exiting out of the pits, I believe. No, Victor Diaz has been out of the pits for a couple laps. Apologize. Sid Satgar gets the move done on Mateo.
Yeah. For now. Sid Satgar on the new mediums, whilst Mateo's on those old hards. He's going to have a huge advantage with grip. But we will have to see Sid make another pit stop no matter what. And Dougie Falcons does get past Ryan Newton there.
Yeah, he does it before Sector 3, which is what was really important. Being trapped behind a car much slower than you on Sector 3 would be tragic. Lights is deciding he's going to come to the pits, but Dougie's had a pretty good undercut. The only thing that was bad about his undercut was the pit exit. I don't know how much time he lost on that, though. Yeah. So we'll see if Lights comes out in front or behind. Yep, Collins into the pits as well. Wild Fury decides to stay out. He's going for the overcut, so... All right, here we go, and they are going to be close on exit as Lights is heading down the pit lane right now as we speak. Dougie is going around turn 1, sets the fastest lap at the moment. Oh, and he's going to be well clear of Lights. Oh, wow.
I wonder if Lights had a moment. Clear. That's a huge undercut with Dougie having that moment.
Wow, yeah, so he is 3 seconds clear, and then Lights is on old tires.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Lights had a moment. That was huge if there was no moment. But now Sid is on the back of DRS. Lights is kind of a sitting duck at the moment. He has no DRS, but Lights is using his battery to try to prevent an overtake from Sid.
You know, and Sid's got these mediums. He really could battle if he wanted to, especially since Lights is on these cold tires. I don't know if he'll do it or not, but he could. Doesn't appear to be using any battery though, so he's just gonna hang out. Maybe he realizes that's not his battle. So, staying patient.
Wild Fury, you would expect him to pit this lap, considering what everyone else has been doing.
Yeah, and I mean, if he's got an engineer, I'm surely they've told him the gap that Dougie got with his undercut, which he messed up the pit exit. You know, it was huge. So he's probably messed up staying out this far or this late anyway. But he will have the tire advantage at the end. It's just, I don't know, he may have stayed out too long.
Ryan Newton pits.
Dougie is going to take control of the lead of the race. We'll see where Wild Fury comes out. He's getting those medium tires put on. He said Ryan Newton's into the pits as well. Yep, he is. So
yeah, Dougie, the 3-second undercut. That's insane.
yeah, we'll take it. We'll keep an eye on that gap because he does have the tire disadvantage to Lights. So Lights will be able to run him down. How much per lap, I'm not sure. And then he'll have to get the. He'll have to make it stick too if he wants to get the overtake done. Both of them on low battery, but 3.5 seconds. It's actually going in Dougie's favor at the moment.
Yeah, Sid closing the gap to Lights with the help of DRS, but I think Lights will be able to break the DRS because of how pressure those medium tires are. 4-lap pressure. But yeah, not too much battling going on. P13. Mateo could do a move on Eric McNerney here. I suppose he got sets the fastest lap of the race. Mateo going down the outside, breaking into this hairpin, or chicane, sorry. And does he get the move done? He does. But Eric McNerney doesn't. Oh, he does get the DRS. But I think Mateo will have that move finished.
Doesn't look like he'll have much to battle back on those hard tires. Mateo's on those fresh mediums. Really looking to get a move on for the rest of his race. Ethan Patel is still out. I think he's the last of our runners who need to pit. So he's definitely going for the overcut.
For a safety car, probably.
Yeah, he might just stay out towards the end of the race and just hope for a safety car. Or he'll take him all the way to the puncture would be my guess.
Yeah. Oh, Sid having a moment there. Is he going to lose the DRS? Oh. It's going to be close. He gets it. Wow.
Barely makes it by the checkpoint. So he's going to hang on to the DRS of Lights. Really trying everything he can to make this medium strategy work. You know, if I was going to do a two-stop strategy, I would have thought that it would be 2 sets of softs. Right?
Real quick. Colin Edwards making the move on Magnus and Cube.
Oh, yeah.
Goes
off track a little bit.
By warning. Okay, sorry, what were you saying?
I was just saying, if I'm going to try the two-stop, I feel like I would have done 2 sets of softs and a medium, right?
Would you have 2 brand new sets of softs, though?
Ooh, well, you know, with the new tire weekend allocation, you can choose the softer compounds than you would. Yeah, you could. It would depend, but you could. We got, who's that, an Alpine around? Stelios Repus. Looks like he messed up going into the pits.
Not his
2
best
AlphaTauri's. Alex Duarte goes around in the first hairpin. Not looking good for AlphaTauri this week. Long way to go, though. Dougie Falcon still holds a 3.4 second gap. It was 3.5 last lap. It's actually still 3.5 if you look at it. So really, there's 9 laps to go. Lights needs to get a move on, like now, if he wants any chance of catching up to Dougie.
Yeah, I think Dougie has this race in the bag. I did call it. But anyways, Magnus and Cube. Ryan Newton is 3/10 behind Victor Diaz. Victor Diaz did have a collision with Ryan Newton, right?
Yes, they did have a collision earlier in the race. Kenny LaFleur is about to get DRS on Wild Fury. Also in the background, we have Mateo looking to get by Ethan Patel, who's on the hard tires. But we're going to keep an eye on the Kenny LaFleur. Well, Kenny LaFleur doesn't seem to get a good exit out of there. So we'll see if Ken Mateo make quick work of Ethan Patel. He's got the medium tires going for him. Ethan just trying to stay out. Will Ethan battle it at all? He's blowing his battery. So Ethan says not so fast to the young prodigy. Mateo, 12 years old. Making it work. Ethan Patel getting his elbows out a little bit, holding on as long as he can. And Mateo is able to sneak by, but Eric McNerney is now on the back of Ethan Patel. But Ethan's got that DRS. Oh, is Ethan going to try to battle back a little bit? Mateo looking not so fast on the straights, but he should have that extra grip through the corner. He's got the much newer tires, and Mateo's going to be able to hold on to the position for the moment. Eric McNerney also needs to make quick work of Ethan Patel if he wants any chance in this race. Ooh, comes really close to the back. And, sorry, Hudson, keep hitting the mute button. I just noticed.
Oh, good.
Yeah, some good battling. Ethan definitely not wanting to let anyone by. He's got his elbows out for sure.
Yeah. Sorry, okay. Magnus and Cube. Oh, Eric McNerney getting really close to the back of Technic Speed, or Ethan Patel.
I'm wondering if he'll try to do this before the DRS zone. Nope, he's going to be patient. And will Ethan get his elbows out again? Let's see. So Ethan not touching the battery for the moment. I'm thinking this will be, he'll get through pretty cleanly.
Yeah, I mean, 20 lap old hards.
It's just not there for him.
It's inevitable. Look at those tires. Oh my gosh. They look destroyed. How long do you think he can actually keep going for?
I don't know. I think no longer than like lap 25 for sure. I'm sure his tires are pretty much dead at the moment. He's just definitely fully committed to hoping for a safety car. And you can't blame him, but yeah, I don't know. At this point, he can come in for softs though and set the fastest lap, steal it from whoever has it at the moment.
Yeah. So just really hoping for a safety car. Even if it does happen, he'll still drop down to probably like around P15, 16. So really unfortunate race for Ethan as he had that little tap. Probably was a racing incident. Oh, he goes into the pits finally. So yeah, really only the close battles here now is Magnus and Cube and Colin Edwards. So the ERS, Colin Edwards has the battery advantage quite far on Magnus and Cube, but he does have the DRS, so we could see maybe something happen between them two.
Oh, if you look, by the way, Lights is now cut it down to 2.5, and we got 7 laps to go. So maybe Dougie had a little bit of a moment. He cut a second out of the time at some point. His tires maybe are coming into play for the Lights. He's got the 2-lap newer mediums, which will make a slight difference. I don't know how much it's going to be, though.
Yeah. So
it'll be close at the end. It'll be close. I don't know.
So Ethan will most likely try to pick up that fastest lap of the race, but he will not get the point for not being in the top 10.
Oh, we got a Haas around up here. It's a non-Trevetti. Appears to be okay. Doesn't have any damage, so hopes of the safety car are still not happening at the moment.
Yeah.
Wait, it's weird. I'm watching this gap between Dougie and Lights, and it's like Dougie, it almost seems like Dougie's pulling out the gap, but I don't know. At some point, Lights managed to find 2/10, and I don't know. Or, sorry, he managed to find a full second. I don't know where that happened, so Dougie must have had a moment. I think as long as he doesn't have any more moments, that he should be clear to win the race.
Yeah. There's no way Dougie doesn't win this unless some crazy something happens or a safety car, but Madison Cube still keeping the DRS to Colin Edwards. I doubt we'll actually see an overtake happen as the ERS level and Colin Edwards is just much greater. All does get past in Patel. Not sure what happened there. Oh, he pits. Wow.
Huh. It's crazy. We haven't seen a safety car all weekend, and this whole weekend the cars have been so spread out. D1 tomorrow, we've got, you know, a much tighter field overall, but I don't even know if, like, the nature of the track almost makes me wonder, like, is D1 even going to be able to stay close?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it'll be setup dependent because, you know, some people will try to go for the corners. And,
let's sit around.
What happened here?
Oh, Sid's boxing. Okay. Sid's boxing.
Oh, that's right. I can't imagine he purposely meant to do this stop, but maybe.
I'll get fastest lap because of it now, but still, it can't have been worth it. You know, I'm gonna assume that this was a glitch, either a glitch or unintentional. Misclicked the button or something. I've raced with Sid for a long time. I know he's been one to do different tire strategies, but I think that this was a little too far outside the box. If he was going to do the 2-stop, he would have done soft, medium. If he planned to do that coming into this race, so sucks for Sid, but you know, maybe he can salvage up maybe P7. Kenny LaFleur's up there on the 10 lap old hards, but you know, he was up there in P4, so it doesn't feel good.
Yeah. So Dougie did bring that gap back up to 3 seconds, 3.1 now. So I think maybe Dougie just had a moment, he had a catch or something like that for that time to go down. But now we're not really seeing any close fights. Everyone's around like 2 second grip, or sorry, 2 second gap.
So yeah, Magnussen is like he's our closest chance of position change in these next 5 laps. He's half a second behind Colin. But he just got no battery, and he keeps using it in really odd spots too, which I'm not sure necessarily the thought process. He's within a second. He's using it on a lot of these corner exits almost to stay close to Colin, but he's just wasting a lot of battery. So I'm not sure the thought process, but he's never going to be able to get by him if he can't, you know, save up some of his battery. And Colin's got the battery advantage as well. He's sitting at 36%, so.
Battery level has gone down. It was at 50 probably like, I want to say like 6 laps ago. Oh no, it's a lap car.
What's interesting too, remember Wild Fury was actually with them. He was like in this 3-way battle, but it was a 3-way battle between Colin and Magnussen. Wild Fury pits later, stays out longer than anyone, and now he's completely thrown away any chance at P4. He's 3 seconds back.
Yeah. Sid, I'm guessing, is going to be able to get past Ryan Newman pretty easily here, considering he's on the fresh new softs as Ryan Newman's on the 7-lap-old mediums. Let's see the ERS levels. ERS, Ryan does have the advantage. That's good for him.
Yeah, Sid. The only thing about these soft tires, though, is like I know that people are having overheating issues in Sector 3, even on the medium tires. So I don't know. It's like he might be having some overheating issues here. We'll see if he's able to keep traction. For the moment, it seems okay, but too many more laps. I know that these softs, they just don't cool down well at all on the straightaways. They carry a lot of heat throughout the track, no matter what. Sid goes fastest lap. You have to imagine he just pushed. Let's watch these next 2 corners, which are typically flat-out corners for the soft tire. He's lifting off a little bit. Lots of heat, I'm sure, packed into these tires. I'm just waiting for Sid to have a moment because of the overheating. But for the moment, it seems okay. He should definitely get by Ryan Newman at this point.
Yeah, we know Sid to be an excellent driver. He did win, I believe it was Season 4 D2 Driver Championship. So we, of course, know that he definitely has the pace. As he possibly goes for a move on Ryan Newman here, he does not. There's a little fake move there.
Well, Ryan Newman now has he's gonna have DRS on Kenny LaFleur. So Kenny LaFleur, they've caught up to him. He's on the old hards. He was the one with the broken wing too. I don't know if he's still out there with the broken wing or not. But well, you know what? I think I'm getting him confused with Stelios. So Sid though still stuck behind Barney or Ryan Newman. He's out of battery too. He's in Sector 3 again, where we know these tires can overheat. Ooh. He's putting a little bit more heat into them. Got to be easy on the throttle through these corners.
Oh, yeah, I think those tire temps are maybe starting to show a little bit for Sid, but now this situation, this is not ideal for Sid, because now Barney's gonna have Ryan Newman's gonna have the DRS on Kenny LaFleur, and that'll just make everything so much more difficult. But he is closing the gap really. Oh no!
And the overheating's coming in. Yep. So plus the combination of the curb, Sid P9, and you know, after that little moment, I think he's gonna be happy just hanging out where he's at.
Yeah.
Some closer battles up front. Wild Fury is actually reeling in the gap a little bit in front of him, taking advantage of the tires a little bit. It's 1.4 seconds now. If he can get just a sniff of that DRS, that'd probably be really beneficial. Who we got pulled over? That's an AlphaTauri pulled over to the side. He's got blue flags, just letting people by. I believe that's Weil on the soft tire. But Max and Cube and Colin Edwards are going to be battling for position up here these last couple laps, and that's going to invite Wild Fury into this battle for P4 on the newer tires as well. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So Magnus and Cube, of course, still having that gap. Kenny LaFleur has a gap to Ryan Newton, but he is on the 13-lap old hards, as Ryan Newton's on the 9-lap old mediums. But I would imagine maybe on this last lap, Kenny could maybe have the advantage on Ryan Newton. I'm not sure though, because of course the tire degradation comes into factor. So that's repass gets a 3-second time penalty. Unfortunate. Kenny LaFleur is now going to try his all to get this move done on Ryan Newton.
Yeah, he's gonna try, but he's got the old hards. I'm not sure if he'll be able to make it stick or not. Wild Fury is now 1.2 seconds back from the group in front of him. Lights 2.1 seconds, 2 laps left. Doesn't look like it's gonna happen for him unless he gets a real move on. Also, Colin Edwards coming up on Garrett Elder on the old hards. 1.5 seconds back. You know, maybe he can get another position around this as well. A lot of these cars are like coming together. There's going to be a little bit of a pack that's formed up on the final lap. It's going to be a little bit crazy as we get them all grouped together, I believe. Yeah, Wild Fury now 1.1. Oh, he's got the tire advantage, and he's trying to find those tenths. He's down to 10% battery, though. I think even if he does catch him... Oh, and I hate to give him the commentator's curse like that, but Wild Fury goes around, so he is not going to be able to hold on to P6. He's got Barney, who's coming around the corner now, right behind him. Wild Fury is going to have some cooked mediums as well. Magnus and Cube, 1 second behind Colin Edwards, but even him, I don't think he's going to be able to hold on to the DRS. So Colin Edwards going to create, yeah, he's created the 1 second gap. He's not even going to need to blow his battery. 1.4 seconds to Garrett Elder for Colin. Go ahead.
Sorry, yeah, so Ryan Newton and Kenny LaFleur and Wild Fury, this is going to be the biggest battle for the rest of this race, as Ryan Newton has no more ERS to boggle with. So Wild Fury does have 16%, which is a lot more than Ryan Newton.
What happened in P1? Ducky is out of battery.
Oh, shoot,
Looks like he had a moment. And Lights is caught all the way up to him. Is Dougie out of fuel? I think Dougie Falcons might be out of fuel. We're going to have to keep an eye on this. Dougie's fuel light, his fuel light's blinking. I'm not sure what's going on. He's got to hang on to these final couple corners.
All right, so Dougie Falcons coming around the last couple corners. He's now coming to the penultimate corner, possibly having a scare with the fuel. Lights, he somehow closed down 3 seconds and like a lap. But, oh, he almost wins, and Dougie Falcons wins the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix.
Dougie Falcons, I don't know if he was just playing with them, making him think that he's out of fuel or what's going on. That was intense at the finish line. Garrett Elder comes across with a podium. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to interview him. Colin Edwards comes across in P4. Magnus and Cube comes across in P5. These guys stayed in order. Wild Fury P6, Ryan Newton P7. Actually, I think Wild Fury was able to stay in front of Ryan Newton even after having the spin, so he maybe didn't even lose a position from spinning out. Sid Satgar back in P9, the unfortunate result with the two-stop strategy. Victor Diaz, P10. Mateo, 12-year-old kid from Canada, P11. Eric McNerney crosses in P12. Eruption with a tough race, not where he wants to be. It was a recovery drive the whole way after a lap 1 incident that sent him into the air. Finishes P13. Anand Trivedi crosses line, got some penalties. He's going to be P14 for the moment, followed by his Haas teammate, Fitz Dickwell, is going to cross the line at P15. Buzzgod's coming across the final 2 corners. And he's going to cross the line in P16, 13 seconds behind 2 Haas's. And the Red Bull of Ethan Patel going to come around the final corner, stayed out, hoping for a safety car. Looks like he's going to go slow across the line. Put on a little bit of a show and finish P17. So we got the Red Bulls finishing P1 and P17, a tale of 2 different drives. But we are going to get these guys up here in the booth to talk to them here in just a second. We're going to head intermission and we're going to get these guys gathered up, and then we'll get you guys some interviews. All right, we are back here with some interviews for you guys. Got with me in the booth Garrett Elder. Garrett, can you hear me?
I can.
Did a little bit of a different tire strategy today. It worked out for you getting a podium. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, I was just going alternate strategy of what my teammate was doing. Barney had a great drive, started P20, finished 10. But I just wanted to do the opposite of what he was doing, and I figured I knew I wasn't as fast as the two guys up front, so I had to get on the medium tires to keep up with them.
Yeah, it was a great drive. I know that you had a little bit of a battle with Sid going on there for a little bit. You saw him come out on the medium tires out of the pits right in front of you. Did you notice right away he was on the medium tires, or what was going through your head?
It actually took me about half of his stint to realize he was on mediums, and then I just started screaming because I knew he screwed up.
You started screaming?
Yeah, I
You,
was excited,
yeah,
very
you're like, this
excited.
is a podium. Yeah, he's got a pit again. So yeah, we saw him come out on mediums, and we were like, oh no, I'm not sure. We're gonna have to talk to Sid because I don't know if that was intentional or what the thought process was. But hey, it worked out for you. Great drive, Garrett. And you have anyone you want to shout out or thank while you're here?
My teammate Barney and our engineer B Bry, and if you make her giggle, you can make that booty jiggle.
Okay, all right. So that's some good wisdom and words of advice from Garrett Elder. Again, congratulations on your podium, and we look forward to seeing you again next week. All right, let's see if we can get the two other drivers in here. We got Lights. Lights actually isn't sitting in the Discord at the moment, so let's go ahead and pull in our race winner of Division 2, Dougie Falcons. Congratulations on your race win, bud. How you feeling?
Um, Pretty good. I was nervous.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I know you and I talked before the race, and I was like, Dougie, how you feeling? And you said, honestly, this is the most nervous I felt for a race in a while. So, how did those nerves carry over, and how did you deal with those as you carried it through to a win?
um, they felt okay. I mean, during the race, it went well. Um, After Brazil and like the setback I had there, I think I was just more like I had to put more pressure on myself. So I think I wasn't like clinical at all. Like my outlap and my inlaps were just not great when I was pitting, and he spun. On the last lap, I hit the curb and nearly lost it, and I was just like, "Oh, goddamn!" So yeah, it wasn't the most clinical race I've ever done, but we got there in the end eventually. So yeah, it was a good race. Lights pushed me pretty much all the way, and the undercut worked a treat. So that was
Yeah,
it
you
for
had a
that.
little bit of a moment in the pits in the tunnel when you attempted your undercut, right? Did we see that right? What happened?
Yeah, just cold tires. I just didn't expect it to like half spin like that, and I thought I lost the race because of it. And luckily, lights didn't pit until the following lap, so
Yeah, we
that
kind of thought
that
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 that would have
was
ruined
fine.
your undercut, right? But it
Yeah,
didn't.
I thought I did. Yeah.
So yeah,
Excuse me.
very impressive drive. Your race pace was there all day today. It seemed like Lights, all he could do in the first stint was pretty much just hold on to your DRS, and then when you got some open air, there really wasn't much. You gave us a little scare at the end. You said you tapped the curb. We didn't catch it on the stream, but we did see you going very slow through sector 3. Did you have damage or something?
No, no. I basically just I bounced on the curb. I literally accidentally touched it on the second sector before the little chicane. And I thought I locked up and went deep, and then I lost like about 7 tenths. Luckily, Lights was just outside DRS, so he didn't have a run. So yeah, that was kind of how it went, and yeah, we I just took it easy in the last sector. I was like, okay, I'm not taking any more chances, so I just like took it easy. Hoped that there won't be any crazy moves on the last lap, and just yeah, that's how we won it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and but yeah, a relief because
Yeah.
I think I needed a win, and I finally got one. So
You definitely did,
now
and
I
it's gotta feel good to get that monkey off your back. Because Lights won last week. He's still got P2 today, so he's gonna have a little bit of advantage on you in the drivers' championship. But 7 points bonus on him today. That's gotta feel good.
yeah, it feels good. A relief, like I said, but hopefully we can carry that momentum into Portimao in a couple of weeks. And yeah, like that was kind of it
Yeah,
really, just to get that
we've got a
confidence
we
back.
we got a week off next week for American holiday, Thanksgiving. Do you guys celebrate that over there? Yeah, I'm not sure if you do or not.
don't celebrate it, sadly.
You guys don't. Okay. Well, yeah, we got a week off next week, but we're back at Portugal in 2 weeks. How do you feel about Portugal?
It's a tricky circuit, and tricky circuit. I'm not so sure how it's going to go. I think we'll just have to wait and see how everyone's pace is. It's going to be interesting. I don't know how fast people are, so yeah, it's kind of exciting, and yeah, it should be all right.
All right, Dougie. Well, congratulations on your win. You were phenomenal today. You put up a clinic. You led every lap. Or you led every lap after. I guess. Yeah, take it back. There were some guys that pitted and led a couple laps, but outside of the pit window, you did lead every lap. It was dominance. Fantastic drive, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Or
Appreciate
2 weeks from now. Sorry.
2 weeks from now. Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right, guys, if you haven't already, if you're still tuned in here with us, make sure you guys hit the like and subscribe button. Leave a comment down in the section below, letting us know what you think. Also, we have tomorrow night, we have our Premier Division 1 races at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you guys are available, make sure you can tune into that, and we look forward to seeing you guys here tomorrow night, and then again in 2 weeks when we take on Portugal in Division 2. Thank you guys for tuning in, and have a great night.